What's up everyone and welcome. In this episode we're going to talk about a new stealthy JavaScript malware dropper called RATDispenser. This new malware dropper has been tracked deploying as many as 8 different families of malware. Let's see what we can learn to protect ourselves and others from this story.
Oh, drat these computers. They're so naughty and so complex. I could pinch them.
Threat actors are always looking for stealthy ways of delivering malware without being detected. With an only 11% detection rate, RATDispenser appears to be effective at evading security controls and delivering malware. In total, HP Threat Research identified 8 malware families distributed using this malware during 2021. All the payloads were rats designed to steal information and give attackers control over victim devices. As with most attacks involving JavaScript malware, RaptorSpencer is used to gain an initial foothold on a system before launching secondary malware that establishes control over the compromised device. Interestingly, the investigation found that RATDispenser is predominantly being used as a dropper in 94% of samples analyzed, meaning the malware doesn't communicate over the network to deliver a malicious payload. The variety in malware families, many of which can be purchased on or downloaded freely from underground marketplaces, and the preference of malware operators to drop their payloads suggests that the authors of RATDispenser may be operating under a malware as a service business model. Now, these kinds of attacks can be scary, but right now you're learning how to spot these types of attacks in this episode, so you're in good shape. If you haven't already, subscribe to my channel and smash the bell to be notified when I upload new episodes where I give you insights into the newest important cybersecurity news stories like this one. With my insights, you can be better prepared to protect your company, your family, and yourself against these and other cyber attacks. So hit that subscribe button now and let's continue learning about this story together. Now, the infection chain begins with a user receiving an email containing a malicious attachment. For example, some JavaScript JS file masquerading as a text file, supposedly containing information about, let's say, an order. Now, the user simply needs to double-click the file to run the malware. Network defenders can prevent infection by blocking executable email attachment file types from passing through their email gateways, for example, JavaScript or VBScript. Defenders can also interrupt the execution of the malware by changing the default file handler for JavaScript files, only allowing digital signed scripts to run, or disabling Windows script host. When the malware runs, the JavaScript decodes itself at runtime and writes a VBScript file to the temp folder using command.exe. As you can tell, most likely exe files, VBScript, this is Windows-based. Now, to find this, the command.exe process is passed a long chained argument, parts of which are written to the new file using the echo function. Afterwards, the VBScript file runs, which in turn downloads the malware payload. If it was downloaded successfully, it is executed, and the VBScript file is deleted. The initial JavaScript downloader is obfuscated and contains several eval functions as shown below. One of the eval calls is a function that returns a long string, which is decoded by another function. The function that decodes the string is located further down in the script. At first sight, it looks complicated, but it is a simple replacement function. First, the passed arguments are stored in a new variable. It is done this way to work correctly with an arbitrary number of arguments. Next, the replacement operation runs on the initial string. The second argument of the replace function in JavaScript is another function which returns the replacement string. In this case, the second argument to this inline function is the capturing group, which matches the regular expression. Since the capturing group is a decimal number, it is used as an index for the arguments array, which is returned as a replacement string. In case of an index out of bounds exception, the function returns the whole matching string, which was most likely implemented to handle mismatches. Threat research has seen RATDispenser distribute 8 malware families. In one example, it delivered Formbook, a keylogger and information stealer. The malware splits strings using the replace function, stores them in nested arrays, and interprets and executes commands using eval functions, so it is difficult to find consistent patterns in them. By far, the most frequently observed malware families were strrat and wshrat, accounting for 81% of the samples analyzed. First seen in mid-2020, strrat is a Java rat that has remote access, credential stealing, and keylogging features. WSHrat, also known as Houdini, is a VBS rat first seen in 2013 that also has typical rat capabilities. Slightly less common were Adwind, Formbook, Remcos, and Panda Stealer. The most interesting among them is Panda Stealer. First seen in April 2021, this is a new malware family that targets cryptocurrency wallets. The Panda Stealer sample analyzed were all fileless variants that download additional payloads from a text storage site, post.ee. The least common families were GUloader and Ratty. GUloader is a downloader known for downloading and running various rats, while Ratty is an open source rat written in Java. So, what can we learn? This malware can be disseminated via phishing campaigns, for example, a fake invoice as described within the episode today, or some other JavaScript file masquerading as a text file asking you to double-click on it to open it. Or it can technically be a payload delivered from a malicious website. So here again, education is key. Having policies in place for employees or even family members in terms of what to do if you receive files you're not expecting. A second defense involves setting up your mail server to potentially block malicious file extensions or file extensions of files that you normally would not get, like .js for JavaScript or VBScript files, which you shouldn't be receiving an email anyway, or interrupting the execution of the malware by changing the default file handler for JavaScript files, or only allowing digitally signed scripts to run, or disabling Windows script host, WSH. I cannot stress enough how important it is to stay on top of these stories and review them multiple times. So, of course, thankful that you spent the time with me today. With that, I say thanks again for watching. Don't forget to share and subscribe if you haven't already, and smash the bell if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next episode. Take care.